Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Goodness. I love talking about this topic that you clicked on today. This is my favorite thing to talk about, and I really want to help somebody out there. If you have a clothing brand and you want to know, how did I start my clothing brand? What are some things that I went through that you don't have to go through? What are some brand tips, marketing, branding, Q&As, anything related to clothing brand? We're going to talk about it. We're going to uncover some things. Maybe I might do a part 2 or might just leave it as a part 1. I don't really know yet. But if you have a product that you want to sell online, and this is specifically clothing, then you want to keep watching. But if you are a service brand, we could talk about that in another video. So I'm excited to talk about this. Keep watching as we dive into multiple things about clothing brands, the pros and the cons, and all that good stuff. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like, share, all that good stuff. Send it to somebody that you feel like may need this type of talk. Keep watching. Alright, so I have my phone on me so I can answer some questions that have been asked to me, and also some questions that I found online that I feel like will be very beneficial to this video. Just to give you guys a background story about me, my name is Goodness and I am the CEO and the founder of Onye Vè. I have a clothing brand, and the brand's name is called Onye Vè, Onyeve. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and you can check out our website www.shoponyeve.com. So currently we are running for 4 years now. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to see this after our anniversary, which is August 20th. So if you're watching this after August 20th, then obviously this is our 4th year in business, and I'm so grateful and excited. Please check out the brand so you guys can see what we have in store. But when I started off this brand in the beginning, I have been running this business for 4 years now, but I have been in the fashion industry for so long, like so long. So when I'm speaking on this topic, just know that it has come with a lot of experiences, a lot of trials and error, and I don't want you to make the mistake. So when I started off my brand, officially started off my brand, I was a service-based brand. And honestly, when I started off making clothes for other people. So I know how to make clothes as well. I usually make my own clothes, my friends and my family's clothes. I don't make clothes for people as much anymore. But when I started off my brand, that's basically how it started. I just wanted to make clothes for other people. I didn't care about branding, marketing, all this other stuff. I didn't care about none of that. I just cared about making the clothes for the people, and people are just booking me for that. That's it. So my client will be the one marketing for me, because as soon as you make, an attire for someone, they will go to an event and people will just be like, oh my gosh, I like your outfit, who made this for you? And you now send them their number or maybe their website, and then they book you. Most of my clients were really referral based. So yeah, I didn't really think about branding, marketing. I mean, I knew I had to think of a name, but even with the name, I thought of anything. Like, back then when we were younger, we would just say Kinkalicious. Like, we would just like, it's just any name that you feel like just, And then the name that I had before, which I'm not gonna say, if you know, someone else already had that name. So I was technically not supposed to be doing anything or selling anything under a name that is not mine, which is why, well, we're gonna cover that later. But yes, so I ended up finding a new name, and when I decided to get a new name, everything changed in my brand. I no longer wanted to take service or customs for other people. I just wanted to sell my designs and like just have a manufacturer, just send them my designs, they make it, and we just go from there, and I just sell that online. So basically now it takes me from being a service brand to now being like the brand, okay? And this is why Onye Vè is the brand, and it was changed. So I had an old name before, and now I have this name, which is Onye Vè, and its own testimony, because this has been the best thing I've ever switched to, is to just sell my products online, because I'm able to focus on my customers. I'm able to nurture my customers. I'm able to brand. I'm able to market. I'm able to do more fun campaigns. It's good on this side. It's really good on this side, but there's nothing wrong with a service brand. There's nothing wrong with that. We're gonna talk about that in another video. So that's just what it is with me and my background story. So I have been running this brand for 4 years, has a lot of ups and downs I'm gonna uncover in this video, and just like everything, firing, hiring, pulling people on the team, taking people out, just really having a leadership type of hat. The thing about being an entrepreneur is that you're going to take multiple hats. You're going to be a little bit about the editor, a little bit about the creative director, a little bit about the makeup artist, a little bit about the assistant, and then the boss, the leader. Like, it's so many things, so many hats that you have to put on, but we do it so seamlessly that it's like, it doesn't hurt in the beginning, but eventually you need to now start bringing more people to the team. You know what I mean? So first things first, how I started a clothing brand. So I told you guys a little bit background story of how I even started. To get down to the nitty-gritty on how I actually started my clothing brand, first I had to pick a name. I had to pick a name because I had to realize that I am a brand and I can't be selling my stuff under another person's name. I need to officially go and trademark my brand name, go and copyright my brand name. I had to do all that stuff, LLC, everything, before I brought my name out. Because there's so many stories I've heard that like people have been selling under a particular brand name and then eventually, you know, they couldn't sell on it no more because the company, the person that actually has the name, has sent like a cease and desist letter, which is basically saying that you cannot sell under this name, you gotta figure out another name. And you've already branded all your stuff. I've heard bad stories about that. You don't want to fall in one of them victims, okay? My first advice will always say, if you have a brand name, team up with a lawyer. So I have a lawyer, I have an accountant, I have mostly like a legal team that helps me with my legal things when it comes to my business and all that good stuff. So when I was talking to my lawyer at first, I was basically just explaining to her like, I have a new name that I need to know if anybody else that got this name. And nobody got this name. So she basically just did the whole search and all that stuff and then told me that I'm able to do it once I send in my application, all that good stuff, and I got it approved and I was able to now use my name. So please, before you start a clothing brand, figure out a name and don't tell too many people about your name because you don't really know who is trying to get that name before you got that name. So make sure that you got the name, keep it in secret until you have gone through the process and now it's approved, and then you can tell the whole world that this is your brand. Let's get right into the questions. So the first question is, how much money would I need to launch a brand? Now, it depends on the type of brand you want to launch. So if it's like e-commerce brand, honestly, I can't say how much money you need, but just put aside your flight expenses. So how much would a website cost? How much would you charge? How much would a web designer cost? How much would a photographer cost? Like all the things that, all your startup expenses, put that all together, calculate, find the cheapest rate, quality, all that stuff, put it together, and then that's how you will come up with the minimum amount to at least start off your business. Now everything else is up to you. It really just depends because you may not need a professional photographer. You may have a professional camera and all you got to do is take the pictures on the professional camera, but then send it to an editor, and that's a different cost. So it really just depends. But I would say, like, for me, when I started off my clothing brand, I don't even know how much I put in. I just calculated all my costs and then was like, you know what, this is how much I need to at least start. So I had to pay the person that did my logo, I had to pay my lawyer, I had to pay my website, had to pay the videographer, the photographer, had to pay certain models. Like, it was a list. And when I figured that out, I was like, okay, if I didn't have the amount, then I need to save up for the amount, or I need to just figure out how I'm gonna get this money, because this is the startup money that I need to start my business. So think like that, and it should basically help you figure out how to start your brand. Hopefully that helps. Okay, another question. Do I have to have fashion experience or a fashion degree to be able to launch a fashion brand? No, you do not need to have a fashion degree to own a fashion brand. I feel like that's one of the many lies within the fashion industry, that a person needs to have a fashion degree. Sometimes fashion degrees don't always help. Experience is your best teacher. Going on social media, reading up about blogs, staying in tune with the trends, and just watching documentaries, fashion documentaries. Like, you can literally educate yourself when it comes to the fashion world, honestly. And as a true fashion girly or fashion gent as you are, you would figure out the history about things. Like, you will learn more for what you're passionate about. So you don't really need to have a fashion degree to get into fashion. There's a lot of people that I know that didn't even study fashion, but they are really good at it. So it really depends what you're good at. And don't let people tell you that you need a degree for you to be good at something. You don't need a degree to be good at something. You could just be good at it. Simple. So to answer your question, no. Next question. Is it possible to do everything yourself, or do I need to hire help? It's possible to do everything yourself if you want to stretch yourself out. It's possible, but you're going to be losing sleep. You're not going to feel your best self. yourself, you know, like it's so many cons to trying to do everything yourself. And it's like, it gets annoying, irritated, like it's a lot. Cause I started my fashion brand, I did everything myself, the photographer, the editing, and I made the clothes. And I had to like make sure that my books was together, like all that, schedule my books, schedule my consultation. It was a lot and it was stressing me out. I feel like this was a full-time job for me that wasn't necessarily paying a full-time money then. So it was just a lot for me. But what I know now, get help, hire help. It's okay to hire a photographer, a videographer, and I had to learn that the hard way. It's okay to go and invest your money with these things because this is an investment towards your company. There's not no investment that you're just investing. No, you're investing good quality things, or you're investing in quality people to help improve your brand. If you do everything yourself, you are not going to move in that quality type of thing by giving each and everything 100%. It's gonna be some that's 100% that you're giving in, and then some 20% because you might be tired. So I'd rather you do the best that you can with what you got, and also if you have the funds for it, invest. Invest in a person that knows how to take pictures really good. Invest in people that know more than you, because the people that know more than you, when you invest in them, they're going to give better results than you. So if you have the money and the finance for that, I say hire other people. But if you're in a startup area where you're just trying to get your brand running, do the best that you can with what you got. That's all I'm gonna say. And eventually when the capital comes in, like the capital came in for me, I'm able to now hire a videographer, I'm able to now hire a photographer. I have a couple people in my team, so it makes things a little much easier, and you're able to cover more grounds with people backing you up. And it's better because you learn from them, they learn from you. It's a relationship here. So to answer your question, hire people if you have the funds to do it. But if you don't, I understand. Just have it in your mind that you are going to hire them or hire other people for your brand. Don't ever think that forever ever in your life that you're going to be doing everything yourself. Like, that's never the goal. Never ever the goal. Next question, how do I find the right manufacturer for my product? So I know a lot of people always keep asking me, goodness, how did you find your manufacturer? I actually found my manufacturer through a friend, and she used to work at, I can't disclose the information, but she used to work at a clothing brand, and she just gave me a manufacturer that they worked with. And it was a small clothing brand at the time that obviously has gone far. So she was able to connect me with the clothing brand. Now, if that's not your situation, what I did in the meantime before she gave me that is that I was looking on Google, I was looking on YouTube. I literally was searching manufacturers, and some people would sell the manufacturer list. I remember like a group of my friends in the past, we put our money together and we just bought a list of manufacturers, and we all had the list. If I can find the list, I could probably see if I can give y'all the list if y'all want. If y'all want the list, let me know. If not, I won't even look for it. But if you want the list, just let me know and I can send you the list of like general manufacturers that I've gone through. And they're not bad. There's some that are in the lows and highs depending on what you want. Some are like jewelry manufacturers. There's so many manufacturers that the list that I have. So to answer your question, you could really just look on YouTube, TikTok, internet. The internet is free. Use the internet for your advantage. Ask questions. Try and error is one of those things that you can't find a good manufacturer just like that. You may have to just move out in faith and just try it, and eventually is a good manufacturer. Like, it's like a hair vendor, you know what I mean? Like, every single vendor is not always going to be the best vendor, but you're going to keep having to try multiple vendors for you to find your vendor, and that's just the whole process. So by finding your manufacturer, look online. Google's going to be your best friend. I'm gonna keep referring back to Google because Mr. Google's gonna be your best friend. Like, I find everything on Google, and the internet is free. So find it online. Another question, how do I know my brand idea and my product is going to work? So the thing about life in general is that we don't know if everything is going to work. Like, when I started off my YouTube channel, when I tell y'all I was so nervous, I was so scared. I was like, I don't even know if people are gonna watch me. I don't know if people are gonna subscribe. I don't know if people are gonna like, comment, and share. Like, I don't know. But because I believe in God, and I just believe that, like, I enjoy making videos. Like, even if no one watches my videos, I actually enjoy making videos. And so I knew that one day with consistency, it's gonna work. It's all stems from believing in yourself. It stems from your mindset. The mindset that you have coming in as a business owner cannot be the mindset that is wavery. can't be a mindset that's like, oh, I'm just going to try and I just don't care about. Like, if you are truly an entrepreneur and you really believe in yourself, you need to come in knowing that it's going to work out. There's no ifs, ands, or but. It's going to work out. The more you keep hitting on the nail is going to break. Like, if the more you keep hitting on the wall, this wall, I keep hitting on the same spot every single time on the wall, it's going to make a dent and it's going to break through. So think of it like that. If this is something that you truly want to do and this is a product that you truly want to sell, and that's another thing, do not sell a product that you are not passionate about, because it's going to show fruit of itself. If I was to sell, let's say, hair care products just because I feel like there's money in it, the energy I'm putting towards it is not even going to be love. It's just going to be like, oh, I'm just trying to make some money. But because I'm selling clothes that I myself will wear, or I myself that I like, it does what it needs to do. And honestly, with God, because with God all things are possible. What I'm trying to say is invest in products, or think about ideas of something that you would like, not what people would like. Really, it's what you would like. Now eventually, as you're going through the journey, you're now shifting your thought process to what your customer would want, right? That's a little different. That's something we could talk about in another video. But in the beginning phases, most businesses start off with solving a problem of something that they have experienced that they needed a solution. So think of it like that. What is something in your life that could solve a problem, or something that you just really love and you just want to be passionate about? Improve in that area. Improve in, like, let's say if it's dresses, improve in, like, let's say if it's hair care products or makeup or whatever it is. What is it? Think of that, be passionate about it, and believe in yourself that it's going to work, okay? Because I started this channel when I was at 0 subscribers. Y'all know the subscribers I got now. I think I'm at like 400. So it's working by God's grace. So believe in yourself. I promise you, if you continue to be consistent in something, it's going to work. And don't care about what anybody else has to say, because it's not about them. It's about you and only you. My next question: how do you set up and register a business? That's a long process, but just a nutshell, let me know some things y'all want me to talk about in my next video, and I'll just like break it down. But what I had to do is I just went and found a lawyer and just talked to my lawyer. My lawyer just set up everything. But she showed me the website. Like, if you're in Maryland, you have a website that you need to go to register your business in Maryland or worldwide or whatnot. If you're in New York, whatever it is, you know. So I would say find a lawyer. If you can't find a lawyer, YouTube's gonna be your best friend. How to register my business, and there's a lot of information out there that tells you how to register your business, literally from point A to point Z. And also TikTok too, especially setting up your LLC. Now trademark is a little different. Some people trademark themselves. I like to trademark with a lawyer because that's her profession, or his or her profession. So I don't want to make any mistake, but it depends on you. I would just go through a lawyer so you know that legally you are set and you're good. How did you come up with your fashion brand? Basically the question is, how did I come up with my name for my fashion brand? Now, it's a process. I had to really think about it. I had to pray and fast, and honestly God gave me my name. So it really just depends on how you want to go about things. Now, if you are, you know, very spiritual and you really believe in God, then ask God to give you a name. Now, if you just want to figure out yourself, like, you know, then just think of a name that you feel as though makes sense to you, and talk to your lawyer and see if anybody else have it. But for me, I prayed about my name, I asked God to give me my name, and God gave me my name. So, and I really love my name because Onye Vè to the world. You know what I mean? So I love my names. When I thought about my name before by myself, it didn't really work out because somebody else had that name. But now that God gave me my name, it's like, that's my name. And what about it? So, you know, it's up to you. Next question. This is a lot of good questions. Y'all really give me some good questions. How large your first collection will be? So I guess how long should your first collection of your clothing brand will be? Well, this is a really good question. I would say if you are a small brand and you don't really have a team and you just are new into the game, I would not advise coming out with a full-blown collection. I made that mistake. I made that mistake because I was so excited. I was like, from my manufacturer, I was like, I'm designing so many designs. And my manufacturer made like 7 pieces. That's a collection. At least minimum 7 pieces. It starts off a collection if I'm not mistaken, but like 7 or 8 or 9 type of pieces. My first collection was a lot of pieces for me. And when I got each piece, I literally had to market each piece. It's a lot. And it was just me. Don't do that to yourself. If you are a small brand starting off, I don't want to call y'all a small brand. If you're starting off, you're not a small brand. You're a big brand. If you're starting off, okay, just drop pieces. There's nothing wrong in dropping small mini capsules or pieces, you know, like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1, maybe 1, 2, 3. That's cool. But when you get to the 7, 8, 9, do understand that each piece you have to market it differently. Because you can't market everything the same. Every single piece is catering to the same audience, but in a different way. So that's a lot of marketing and campaigns you have to do. And on top of that, you can't neglect another piece, you know, because eventually if you're making about 7 or 8 pieces for your collection, you are going to be focusing on maybe 1 or 2 out of all the rest. And we could tell, but you have to evenly market all of it. And that's why I'm like, I'd rather you just stick with 1 or 2 or 3 pieces max, so that you can like hone down to, okay, this is what my consumer wants. And sometimes with the 7 pieces, maybe like your customer might just like 1 or 2. So then the rest of it, what you gonna do about it? You have to sell it off. And if not, it's gonna be dead stock. And then it's just money sitting. So I would really just advise, do not come out with crazy big collection. Like, do pieces. That's what I wish I did. And currently right now, I'm still in the pieces era. I'm not even trying to, not yet. When it's time for me to do a full-blown collection, I'm gonna do a full-blown collection, but don't rush it. Take your time, because even in the pieces, it's strengthening your design work. It's like strengthening your game. It's strengthening your pen work. It's strengthening your design work. It strengthens your patterns. It strengthens your mind for you to just like really come up with like a really, really fire piece, and nothing like chill. You know what I mean? So don't let your first collection be crazy. Don't even do a first collection. Like, just do pieces, 1 or 2 pieces. You feel me? The next question is, will you choose pre-sale to cover your manufacturer costs? So pre-sale is like pre-order, if some of you guys don't know, but sometimes brand tends to showcase their samples and basically show it to the audience, saying like, oh, if you guys want this, it's coming out soon, but you have to pay for it ahead of time, so that when they tell the manufacturer, they're not making crazy amount of pieces and nobody's buying. So they use pre-order, pre-sale to kind of gauge how many customers are going to buy this product before they go into production. I tried that once. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again, but we gonna see. But I tried that once, y'all. I had, you know, the 7 collection pieces, right? One of them in the 7 pieces for the collection, one of them I wanted to be pre-order. But the thing about that, let me tell y'all, the pre-order, when you tell people that this is, you know, ready to be pre-ordered, you have to wait until you have gotten a good amount to start production. So most manufacturers don't just start in a minimum quantity of 1. They usually will start like in a minimum quantity of 50, and that's a good manufacturer. Most manufacturers, 100 minimum, right? So if you're trying to fulfill the cost of 100 minimum orders and you don't got the money to get the actual 100 pieces from your manufacturer, then most people do the pre-order route. But the thing about the pre-order, if you have to wait until 100 people or 50 people buy your stuff, they're going to be waiting for a long time. When I'm saying starting off, okay? Now, Prada, Louis Vuitton, all these other bigger houses, there's a little different. The game's a little different. But if you're starting off as, you know, a startup, then I would just say don't do the pre-order route. Only because the thing about it is, like, when somebody places in their order, mentally they're ready to get it. Amazon nowadays have made us feel like we need to get our packages in less than 3 days. Because you want your package. You spent so much money in it, you want your package. You know what I mean? So don't let your customer wait. And the thing about it is that when you allow a customer to wait for their package 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because it's gonna take time for the manufacturer to make those clothes. And then they have to ship it to you, or you could go get it. And you have to make sure all the sizes are good. And then you have to package them. All of that is gonna take minimum at least a month, depending on your manufacturer. But I'm saying that to say you're going to be having your customer wait on their product for that long, they're not gonna like it. Even if they are understanding like, okay, they're not gonna like it, because they've already invested money towards their package and they feel this entitlement to get their package early because that's what they want. And you don't want someone to have that distasteful taste about your brand. Like, I did that, and those customers that ordered from me, some of them came back, some of them didn't. But at the time I had learned, I was like, wow, they were really waiting for this package. And I was pressing my manufacturer like, when you gonna start production? When you gonna start production? And he's like, oh, I'm really backed up in a lot of orders, So things that's happening in his world is now affecting me. And I can't sit here and tell my customers it's my manufacturer fault. It's all boiled down on me. So just to save your brand and your reputation, I always advise come up with the capital ahead of time to buy the full amount that you need. If it's 50 pieces from this collection, then it's 50 pieces from this piece, right? And just get all the 50 pieces and just believe that you're going to sell it out, because the best thing you could do for your brand is fast shipping. When you put out a collection or a piece or whatnot and someone buys it, you want to be like better than Amazon to send up their package in less than a week. So they be like, dang, this brand got some good old packaging, or this brand got some good old shipping, whatever the case is. Like, that's why people love to go to Amazon now, because they know that Amazon Prime, they're going to get it in less than a week. So try your best to be in that range. Do not allow your customers to wait more than 2 weeks for their package. 2 weeks is even a stretch, and you better be sending them a coupon code or something to say I'm so sorry, because they need their package. That's just the reality in the society that we're in. We need our package. Another thing too is about branding and marketing. Now, it wasn't really a question, but I know it's going to be very helpful for anybody that's starting their clothing brand in terms of marketing and branding. First things first, I will always advocate for Shopify, but I know people have their pros and cons about Shopify. Find a web server that is best for you to kind of like facilitate your brand, okay? For people to come in and shop. I use Shopify. I like Shopify so far. I used to use like 2 other things, like I think Wix and this other one. I did not like it at all. For me, right now, Shopify is easy for me and gets the job done. The thing about Shopify is like once you make a lot of money from the brand, Shopify got its own little ways to not give you all your money back, but people got their own stories. So figure out a web server that works for you. In the process of it with Shopify, if you are a Shopify user, they do have like branding, marketing and stuff that you can do in terms of email marketing and just like things to push out your products. If you are not a part of Shopify, I will just say like Facebook marketing will probably be your best friend. Text message marketing will also be your best friend, because most times people don't like to put in their emails all the time. Like for me, when I shop, I don't really like to put in my emails because I'm like, y'all about to spam me. But I'm quick to put in my phone number. So you're gonna have certain customers like that, whether they like to put in their emails or they like to put in their phone number, but have both, okay? Because it's going to be a time where maybe you may not get them through Instagram, or I don't know what's going on with these apps nowadays. You never know. But just to make sure that you have your customers and you haven't lost your customers, you can't lose them, have an email list, have a phone list, so you can reach out to them. And it's easier. And I love when I sign up for like companies or brands and I see them send me a text like, oh, we have a sale coming up. Like Neiman's Marcus, they always text me about a sale coming up. So those things are helpful. And I don't check my email all day, every day. It's like first in the morning I do, but it's nice to get your customers in the middle of the day. So just kind of gauge and see. I would say marketing, as for marketing specifically, do ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads. Do a lot of ads. If you can find an ads company to help you run your ads, that would be great. But in the meantime, for what you could do is just do ads. As far as branding, I want you to do a research between branding and marketing. If you guys want me to dissect that, I can dissect that in another video. But there's a difference between branding and marketing. And until you understand the two difference, then you know how to play. Knowledge is key when it comes to the game of entrepreneurship, right? Knowledge is key. If you have the right knowledge can change your world. The right word can change your world. So go on YouTube, figuring out what's the difference between marketing and branding, and you will understand branding, how it breaks down to the color theory, how it breaks down into just how your customer feels when they look at your brand. Like that simultaneously goes with your marketing, and then you know how to market your brand, and you know how to pinpoint certain emotions with your brand. So that's gonna be your best friend. If you didn't take nothing from this video, make sure you take researching more on branding and marketing, and Facebook ads is gonna be your best friend, and just TikTok ads or whatnot. So I hope that helps when it comes to that segment. Now, if you want me to dive in, I can always dive in another time in another video. All right, so another question is, what advice do you have for creating effective marketing and promotional strategies? This is a really good question. What advice do I have for creating effective marketing and promotion strategies is to know your customer and to try a lot of things. Try a lot of marketing campaigns, study about other brands and their marketing campaigns, and just try it out for yourself. Like, you know what you want, you know your customer, you know. If you don't know your customer, study your customer. Study what does your customer like, what is the age range that you are even marketing to in the first place. Now, if you're marketing to the age range of like 21 to like 25 or 21 to like 30, then you will have an idea of what type of person that you're marketing to. Like, you're not about to market, you know, cartoons or Teletubbies. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different age range for that. But the people that you're marketing to, do a little more research on them, and then you would know how you would market to them. Honestly, that's what I did. Like, for me and my brand, my team and I, we had to really do a whole rebrand and dissect and like, who's our customer? What does our customer love? What does our customer love to eat? Where? What does our customer love to do? What is her 9 to 5? Does she have a 9 to 5, or is she an entrepreneur? Okay, so another question we have, it says, can you discuss the importance of budgeting and financial planning for a new clothing brand? I think I touched this already, but when it comes to budgeting and, you know, financial planning, I say write down every single thing. Do not expect your brain to remember every single thing. Write everything down and just kind of put your finances in a couple categories, like what is really priority and what is not priority. The things that are priority to your brand, like making sure that your quality is good and like certain type of fundamental or morals for your brand, like whatever it is for your brand, the things that you can, your non-negotiables, make sure you write that down. Make sure you write that down. And also, when you are putting your money together to pay for whatever you need to pay for, you look at it both, like what's priority in this season and what's not priority. Because when I started doing that for my business, when it came for like campaigns or anything new that we're about to do, there's so many things I could put my money to, but I wanted to make sure I put my money to the right thing, right? The right thing that's going to generate sales, generate more customers, generate exposure. So the list goes on. So I say write every single thing down, because that would be a game changer, especially when it comes to taxes too as well. You're able to know how much you spent within the year. Like, it's just writing everything down and just being on top of your finances, I promise you, helps when it comes to tax season, you know? So that's that. The question is, what inspired you to start your clothing brand? I can talk about this all day, but I'm gonna keep it short. What inspired me? I will honestly just say, I love fashion. I love everything fashion related. When I was younger, when I left from Nigeria to come here, because y'all know I was born and raised in Nigeria. So when I left from Nigeria to come here, I just was like middle school or elementary school, we had uniforms, and I did not want to dress like everybody else. Like, I hated the fact that we had uniform, everyone looked alike. So I had to find ways within the uniform to stand out a little bit. Whether it's like I'm adding a little bow tie to my neck, or I'm doing a little beads and pearls, like something to pop out my school uniform, because I was like, I cannot look like y'all. Even though that we are dressing alike, but I cannot look like y'all. So I would, like, I think every Saturday or Sunday, I would make sure I would sketch out my outfit for the week, so I know that I'm not wearing the same thing twice. But people can't notice that I'm wearing something twice, because my parents wasn't trying to spend a lot of money with uniforms, and I had to do what I had at the time. Like, if my parents was able just to get like 2 or 3 tops, then I would try to find a way to move the tops around so people can't tell that I'm wearing the same top all the time. Like, yeah, that was a whole thing. So I was like, you know what? I really love fashion. I love how you could express yourself. I love how you can just, like, you know, instead of speaking, your outfit speaks for yourself. Like, I just love the whole aspect that even if I don't speak to you when I come into a room, you gonna look at my outfit, you gonna know that it cracks. You're gonna know that I put on some swag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna know. So I just love everything about fashion. I love the expression that fashion gives, like, and it's just like, you could really just be yourself and nobody could tell you otherwise. And I just love the fact that who gonna check you? It just has a confidence booster that is like, I could put this on and what's up? I feel so confident when I wear things that I want to wear. Like, I love when I wear things that people don't wear and they look at me like crazy, or they look at me like, oh no, you put that on. Because something about me, it don't matter, I'm gonna always put it on. And the thing about being inspired, you get inspired by anything everywhere. Like, I get inspired daily by so many things, but the one thing that really inspired me was that in the beginning of my journey, like, I was like, nah, I love fashion so much, like, I want to be a fashion designer. That was one of my dreams, to be a fashion designer, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm really a fashion designer, and it's such a full circle moment. Like, the younger me would have been like, yeah, girl. Like, literally, younger me would have been so proud, and I'm just grateful to just be in this path, like, to inspire people, to empower people, and to just allow people to just tap into my mind. And like, whatever I design, you guys get to see it, and you guys get to love it, and you wear it so confidently, and you're just that girl, and nobody could tell you otherwise, and you know how to style yourself. So yeah, hope that answered the question. All right, so another question, there's a lot more questions, but I think we're gonna try to wrap this up. I might make a part 2, to be honest. I hope you guys are getting you know, encouraged and inspired by these questions. Can you share any lessons learned or mistakes to avoid when starting a clothing brand? So there's so many, but remember we talked about making sure that you're doing less quantity in the beginning, so you're not dropping a lot of collections at once, because that's already a lot. So we already talked about that. The second one is do not overdo it. Like, if you know you can't afford it, don't stretch yourself. Don't be in debt either at all. I'm so grateful that I'm not in debt when it comes to my clothing brand. So I'm saying the same thing to you that's watching. If anything is going to cause you to be in debt, just don't do it. I'd rather you be safe than sorry than for you to take a big risk that now, if it doesn't work out, you not have to pay millions of dollars back, and that just doesn't make sense. So I would say really stay within your means when it comes to your brand, because your brand is going to grow, and when it grows, you're able to now do other things, you know? Yeah, so don't overdo it. Just know your place in your journey, and don't try to compare yourself to somebody else, because the thing about comparison, one, is a thief of joy. Two, when you compare yourself, you tend to go above your means, and then now you put yourself in a mentally chaotic like step. So I will honestly just say, know where you are with your brand and figure out how you can expand within your lane. Don't see another brand and you're like, oh, I'm able to do that, like, if it's not within your budget or it's not within your finances. So I would just say stay true to who you are. Also, another thing when it comes to designing, design something truly that what you want to design. Don't design based on a trend that's happening. And that's one of the mistakes that I had to learn when I started off my clothing brand and I was designing. I was really just kind of designing based on what the trend was at the time. But the thing about trends is that it fluctuates. 1 minute people like it, 1 minute people don't like it. If you invested so much money with that particular trend and couple months ago out of style, what you gonna do? You're gonna be sitting here thinking like, dang, I didn't even have to design that for real. Like, you know, you don't want to really live in regret. So I say when you're designing, design for what you feel like your customer will want. Always have the customer in mind. Yes, design for you. But the thing about when you're designing for yourself, you're going to kind of like attract other yous. So technically it goes back to you. Think about your customer in the process of it. Like, what would your customer love? Because your customer stems from what you like. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, your customers stem from what you like. So you have to make sure that when you're designing, you're thinking about everything about your customer, yourself. If you know it's Champ, and Champ is like when you know it's just not cute, when you feel like it's Champ and you wouldn't wear that, don't design it. Do not design it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you having to promote yourself, wear your brand, and people love the CEO wear their own brand. And that's another thing. In the beginning of my journey, I wasn't even designing for myself. I was designing for the trend, thinking that this is what people wanted. But truly, I knew that those set of clothing, I would not wear that, and I barely wore it, and people could tell. And so as the CEO of your brand, make sure that you are always wearing your stuff. Like, if people don't see you wear your stuff, they're not going to buy it, and that's just the honest truth. But when they see a CEO is loving their product and like they're wearing their things all the time, they're going to fall in love with the fact that you have fallen in love with your outfit. So it was when I was creating this last design that passed on the brand that I didn't care about what anybody has to say. I wore my bags, I wore my swimsuits, like I wore my things, and I enjoyed it. And because of that, people noticed so much excitement out of me. So many times I would wear it casually. People would meet me in person and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know that's your bag. Or when I would wear it, they'll be like, where'd you get this bag from? And I'll say it's my brand, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're rocking it so well. Or when I tell them I'm like the CEO of it, or sometimes a customer have actually seen me in person and they're like, wait, where'd you get that bag from? Because I know that brand. And I'm like, oh, it's my brand. And they'll be like, oh, wait, you're the CEO. Because I didn't really show my face on my brand's page. But you see the connections that you can naturally just make off of just wearing your own stuff. And it's a great marketing wearing your own stuff. So that is a couple of things that I will like advise you so you don't make the same mistake. I had to learn this too in the beginning stages. It's okay to showcase your process, but don't showcase your vital things in your process, like, you know, like where you get your fabric or the brand that you use in certain things. Like certain things like that I wouldn't show. But in terms of the journey, like the BTS, and honestly showcasing that you are just starting, don't hide that. Don't come off thinking that you are this big brand that no one gets to see your small moments. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, mentally you are a big brand. You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna take that from you. At the same time, it's okay for people to see where you're at. So currently right now with YouTube, you guys can see that I am in my 400 subscribers. My dream is to be at like 1,000 subscribers plus, right? Y'all know this. But I'm also embracing the journey and just the beginning, because I remember when I had 1 subscriber. So I'm saying that to say embrace your current moment and be happy in your current moment. Like, my brand right now is not in the same level as Prada or Louis yet. We're working towards it, but I'm going to also embrace that my brand is currently where it's at, and I'm still happy. You know, like, the customers buy from me, you all support me, you guys watch my stuff, you guys like, comment, and share. So it's still a journey to embrace, because the one thing about it is I'm gonna look back at this moment and I'm gonna be like, wow, like, that was me at 1 subscriber and I was still happy. That was me at 4. Like, be happy with your place. Never feel like you need to be at another brand's position, because you just don't know what that's like. So embrace your moment, embrace your journey. Do that a lot more in the current stage that you are, because you're gonna keep growing. And people always say, like, when they make it, they always be like, oh, the fun was the journey. So embrace your journey. Even if it's hard, embrace it. Even if it's not hard, embrace it. But embrace your journey and document everything. That's another thing I wish I documented, was like everything. I didn't document all of it, but I documented some, and it's nice to go back and see, like, wow, this was really neat. One of these days, if you guys want, I might just mash up like everything from literally when I was young and like show y'all like a mashup video of like everything. I don't know, what you think? Okay, another question. What role does social media play in launching and growing a clothing brand? I believe that social media plays a very important role, because that's where most people are on. You know, we're not in the days where social media is not an important space anymore, that people need newspapers to know the news and what's happening. We're in the times where people get their news from social media. Like, everything is social media heavy. So it's very important, because that's where your customers are, and you have to figure out where your customer get their news from, or what does your customer do. Now, if you are in that type of age range where your customers are more toddler based, or, you know, a bit teenager, young, honestly, teenagers still be having social media, but you know what I mean, like people that don't really have their phones, then you wouldn't really market on social media as much, because they're not on social media. But if their parents are the one kind of governing things in their life, then you might market either word of mouth, honestly, maybe social media, maybe like Facebook. But you see what I mean? Like, you need to find where your customers are at and you market there. So for me, my customers are on social media heavy, so I'm going to be marketing a lot on social media. So yeah, I think it just depends where your customer is at. So if it's social media, then you need to be on social media. You know what I mean? We have another question. All right, so what advice do you have for dealing with criticism or negative feedback? Don't deal with it. That's the best advice I can give. There's no point in dealing with it. There's no point in feeding yourself into it. Everyone is always going to talk. Not everyone's going to like what you do. When everybody loves what you do, that's a problem, because then you're a people pleaser, and we don't do that, because you ain't pleasing yourself, you're pleasing other people. But when you have people that support you truly, pay attention, have a ton of vision to the ones that truly support you. Everyone else, that's their own business. Literally, that's really their own business. You don't deal with them. How do you deal with it? You don't deal with it. Like, ignore it. Pay attention to the positive ones. Reread positive comments. Don't even read the negative ones. Pay attention to positive ones. And then know why you're doing it. You know, if you're doing it because you want people to like you, wrong reasons, because not everyone in this world is gonna like you. But if you're doing it for reasons where, like, you're trying to get your family out the gut, like, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to elevate, you're trying to inspire, you're trying to really make an impact, then don't let negative comments that don't even understand your why stop you from your grind. You know, and sometimes people are placed in people's lives to just slow them down. So if you feel like there's people around you that are slowing you down or give you that, change your environment. If you can't change your environment, then think about the positive thoughts, pay attention to the positive side of things, and don't even pay attention to them. Don't deal with it, because one thing about responding back to a hateful response or a negative feedback or all that, like, there's no need to respond to them. If you do read a negative feedback, look at it as constructive criticism, or if it's not, take what you will. If not, then throw the rest in the trash, because if they're not here to support you, or if they're not here to give you, you know, a positive feedback, or even like in a loving way, everything has to stem from love. If you know they're just here just to like slow you down, all that stuff, or don't believe in you, please don't even deal with it, because that messes with your mind, that messes with your mental, and you need to make sure that your mind and your mental is at a good place, you know, because that's where you think, that's what, like, it's so many things that go in your mind. So don't even play with that. Don't even let them come in your business. Like, don't do it. I can't. I don't deal with negative comments. Any negative comments sometimes I get on my YouTube, I don't even deal with it. I don't even respond. I literally just ignore it, and I respond back to the ones that, you know, mean a lot to me and just love me and support me. So don't even deal with it. That's what I would say. Okay, 2 more questions and we are going to call this video a wrap. So I really hope this video was helpful. So the first one is, how do you ensure your brand stays relevant and adapts to changing fashion trends? How do you ensure your brand stays relevant? Honestly, think from a brand perspective. Like, study other brands and see how they do things. So recently the Olympics just finished. You know, most brands will try to find their ways to get into the Olympics to kind of stay relevant, because what's relevant is the Olympics going on. So I guess the things that are going on in the world, try to find your way to kind of attach yourself to those things if that's the type of brand you want to be. Now, there's certain like holidays that I will be a part of, like, yeah, like breast cancer awareness, like those type of things for my brand that we make sure, or Women History Month, like those type of things that are very like hit homes for me when it comes to the brand. So if there's things that you want to be attached to in terms of like the trends, then you go for it, but don't hop on every single trend. Like, be a brand that sticks to something and don't stick to everything, if that makes sense. Like, hone down on something, and not every single trend that comes out you need to be a part of it. The next part of the question says, how do you ensure your brand stays relevant and adapts to changing fashion trends? So I don't know, I don't like, it depends the type of brand that you are. If you want to be a clothing brand that hops on every single trend, you know, like you're just that fast fashion type of brand where like every single trend that you know is popping out, you're just like making different styles from it to, you know, make your money. But if you're, I mean, go ahead and do that if that's your brand. But if you are a brand that wants to create the trend and wants to be set apart, then you won't be following trends, right? You would create the trends. You would create your brand identity. Like, you would actually be your brand, like stick out, stand out. So I don't know, because I don't really like to follow the trends. I feel like trends just, it's too much. Everybody flocking to the same thing, everybody's wearing the same thing, everybody's looking alike. It's just too much. And at core, for my brand, one of the reasons why I started my clothing brand is so that I don't look like everybody else. And that's what stemmed from when I was younger. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like when I was younger, going to school, everyone had uniform. That, it really irked me, like it really annoyed me. And it's just the fact that everyone had the same thing on. Like, why would I want to now create a brand that everybody is hopping on? Like, that's not me at core. So because I know me and my morals and my foundations and my principles, I'm like, if this is the trend, I go this way, because I just feel like not everybody want to look the same like everybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody want to hop on that wave. Like, to me, I don't like it. But if that's you and you don't mind, then hey, go for it. So there's no really adapting to trends. Like, I just kind of feel like if I like to wear it, I'm just gonna wear it. Even if it came out years ago, if it looked fly on me, it's gonna look fly anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can make the clothes look fly. Like, you don't even got to move like everybody else. You could really just move how you want to move. You know what I'm saying? And like, the clothes, you don't let the clothes wear you. You wear the clothes, if that makes sense. So that's all I'm gonna say with that one. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, the last question. What are some ways to leverage influencers and brand ambassadors for promotion? So this is a very interesting topic when it comes to influencers or their promotional value. So I don't know how to really answer this one. I would say, like, when I started off, I did try to use influencers sometimes, but even the ones that I try to use, it didn't really get me much sales. So I just started focusing more on my branding and my marketing. And when I started branding and marketing, it was bringing in the customers. You know, God definitely was bringing the customers. Branding and marketing allows people to stay. So you can try the influencer route, but influencers, you still gotta pay. Well, some influencers you gotta pay money, some of them you don't. But I feel like if you want to try it out, but don't allow that to be your only promotional strategy. You know, like, don't let that to be the only thing. Like, hone down to branding and marketing. I promise you, the people for you is going to come to your brand. That's what I'm gonna say. But don't just see an influencer and you're like, and every influencer is different. Like, pay attention to the influencer. Are influencers people that are like fashion girlies? You know, you're not about to give a fashion attire to a person that's strictly just a beauty page. You know, like, yes, it's good for exposure, but is it going to change to sales? I don't know. So I will focus more on influencers that represent your brand to the T, or it may not really work. But at the same time, when you have a good branding and marketing, they're gonna come to you. Now, as far as brand ambassadors, I never really tapped into brand ambassadors because I don't know. I just feel like I really want, unless I haven't tapped into it because I'm just not a big fan of brand ambassadors when it comes to clothing. Now, I've seen other companies like lashes or hair have like brand ambassadors, but when it comes to clothing, if it's not a big celebrity doing a brand ambassador for me, then I don't think I would agree to it. Like, if it's not a big celebrity, I'm talking about big celebrity or big influencer being a brand ambassador, then I wouldn't even just ask anybody to be a brand ambassador, because a brand ambassador is supposed to get you sales, because all the clothing that you're going to be giving them to promote for you needs to revert into sales. You can't just ask anybody to be a brand ambassador. So that's probably the reason why I haven't tapped into it yet, because I haven't found someone that I can be like, no, I really like their stuff, they resonate with the brand, and she'll be a perfect brand ambassador. You know, like, it takes me some time before I even get there. But as far as influencers, I say if you want to go to the route influencers, try to find the ones that's best for your brand. If you can't, the best thing I had to do was hone down to my branding and marketing. Then I'm telling you, the influencers will come to you and they would DM the page, because I had influencers that have DM'd the brand page asking to be an influencer for the brand, and depending on their pages, I would either agree or decline. So all right, so that is the end of today's video. I really hope I touched a lot of important questions. Thank you guys so much for even just tuning in to the very end and just watching this video and asking me questions and all that good stuff. Like, I really love talking about branding. Well, I said branding. I really love talking about anything that comes with e-commerce, or just like having a clothing brand, or just being an entrepreneur. So I might tap into more of those videos because they really are very personable to me, and based on my experience, I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to especially the fashion industry, or just being an entrepreneur in general. But the last thing I want to say to anybody that's watching this, as an entrepreneur trying to start a clothing brand, I just want to leave you with this, to just say that nothing good comes easy. You definitely have to put in the work for it. Thank you guys for watching to the very end of this video. We are here. This was really a good video for me because I just love talking about entrepreneurship, clothing brand, all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed every single thing about this video. I might make a part 2 if y'all want to make a part 2, but if you really want me to dive into certain topics, let me know, because this is definitely something I'm so passionate about, talking about entrepreneurship. Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end as we are concluding today's video. Oh my goodness, such a great topic. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys can take 1 or 2 things from this video, send it to somebody that is about to start a clothing brand or thinking about it. I hope all the questions were useful questions. Before you guys close this video, I just want to leave you guys with a couple words. For all my entrepreneurs that are watching this video, please, please, please hear this, okay? Nothing that you want comes easy, but with hard work, putting God first, dedication, you're gonna get it. Consistency, you're gonna get it. Believe in yourself. Even when nobody believes in you, believe in yourself, because that will be the driving force into why you're going to be doing it all the time. Learn. Don't feel like you're too big to learn. Like, always be a student, you know, because eventually the student becomes better than the teacher. So always be a student. Never feel like you're going to stop learning. Always be prepared to learn. Just sharpen your craft wherever it is. Don't forget to hire people and trust someone else to carry on the vision. It's okay to trust other people in the process. And always think about the bigger picture and why you're even starting your brand, why are you even tapping into this side of you, you know, and just embrace the journey. Document everything. I wish you the best of luck, honestly, because I know it's not easy, but I know it can be done, and I know you're going to do it, and you're going to do it wonderfully, okay? So keep going. Good luck. And if you have any questions or you just need help with anything, let me know. Don't forget to let me know if y'all need a branding and a marketing video, because I would love to talk about that one. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we are going to see each other again in our next video. Mwah! Onye Vè to the world. Bye, y'all.